On this episode of the Infowars News Blitz, EU announces Superstate Dictatorship after Brexit vote. Muslim asylum-seekers rape a woman, and the Muslim boy that was in the Idaho sex assault of a little girl still lives next door. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. On this episode of the Infowars News Blitz, EU announces Superstate Dictatorship after Brexit vote. Muslim asylum-seekers rape a woman, and the Muslim boy that was in the Idaho sex assault of a little girl still lives next door. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. For the week of July the 4th, 2016, this is the first article there, and this article written by Kid Daniels. The title is called EU Response to Brexit, Morph Europe into Superstate Dictatorship. Underneath it says, EU member states not allowed to leave Nazi-style dictatorship by elected technocrats. I mean, seriously, really? CNN is promoting the globalist plan for a European superstate by uplifting all Europeans into one country ruled by an unelected technocrat, which likely Adolf Hitler ruled over Europe in early stages of World War II. Even CNN interviewed former Ambassador Christopher Hill on Sunday, who advocated the takeover of the sovereign European nations such as Greece, Germany, and France, and merging them into one nation. The interview was a little more than propaganda piece. Hill, who is now the Dean of the University of Denver, has not been in public service since 2010, and CNN fed him leading questions without challenging any of his viewpoints. The entire interview was designed to condition viewers into accepting a European superstate, which only Hitler has accomplished during the height of the Nazi power in 1942, which also saw technocrats in position of power. Gerald goes on to say, while the plan is clearly lays a framework for the European Union Army, details will not be released publicly until the day after the Brexit vote, so as not to inflame public opinion in the UK, Clifford Cunningham reported. Only a group of EU politicians and security committee ambassadors who are required to leave their electronic devices outside and in a sealed room can read the proposal. However, they are not allowed to take and remove handwritten notes. Basically, that's what this is. And here's Alex Jones to talk about this.
We knew what they would do. They would try to trigger clauses that they have claiming that if you don't have 75% for an exit, you're not allowed to leave. The UK never got to vote to enter. Out of 25 that have entered the EU, only 2 of them ever had a vote. Other countries have voted to get out, and when they vote to get out, they're not allowed to get out. Now, that's called being a prisoner. England has its own military, and this is what's incredible about a Zero Hedge story up on Infowars.com. We're going to be covering it in detail. They themselves say their answer is a new superstate. That's what George Soros called for yesterday. And they're telling members that haven't left yet, we're abolishing your militaries. And next is your police, the final phase of occupation. EU response to British exit, the Brexit totalitarian superstate. Kurt Nemo's written a story about it at Infowars.com. Measure will strip sovereignty of member states. And the New American's reporting on it, Zero Hedge is reporting on it. It is simply mind-blowing. And this is what's being said. I mean, we knew they'd do it. We knew they'd come out and say, oh, sorry, it wasn't 75%, or another member state of your United Kingdom, Scotland didn't vote to do it, so they can block you, or we're going to hold your bank account money, or we're going to blockade your trade. Well, Europe is teetering just as bad as the UK is under globalist control, so England should play gutsball with these EU bureaucrats and say, listen, you unelected slimes. The only difference between you and Hitler is you're not driving Panzer tanks and don't have Stukas dive bombing Krakow and London. and Leningrad.
Okay, thank you. I mean, they really are hot under the collar. Their little New World Order plan for the elites has now stalled since Brexit happens. And you know what? I am happy for Great Britain to leaving the EU. As a matter of fact, I'm playing a game called Armored Warfare, and basically when I'm actually done with the Russian SPG I've bought, I'm gonna buy me a Challenger 1. That's just for it. Okay, onward to the second article here, and it is an article written by what was it? The Wire, I think? The title is called Muslim Asylum-Seekers in Germany Have a Bad Day, So They Raped a Woman. It was written by Michael Oxavin. If I pronounce your name wrong, I am terribly sorry. As the UK leaves for greener pastures, Germany continues to suffer the consequences of its dangerous immigration policy. On Friday, 2 Muslim asylum seekers drug an unexpected woman into a flower bed at a local park in Berlin and gang raped her were due in court to answer for their crimes. The 56-year-old victim was attacked in Augustus at Munich's Old Botanical Gardens after she asked the men to stop shouting. The woman was simply trying to take a nap in the park. Hey, whatever. The men slightly invertebrated from drinking whiskey were allegedly angered by the fact that the woman added a command. Hailing from the Islamic religion of the world where men exercise complete control over women's behavior, the men apparently unable to cope with the fact that Germany is a democracy that offers equal rights to both sexes, they snapped. And basically they raped her. Yeah, sure, practically they taking my, my leg just snapped. I put my foot up here. Never mind, let's keep moving. The rape has long-term physical scars on the victim, impacting that the trial's progression. A criminal case against the attackers was adjourned. However, after the victim suffered panic attacks, reported Express UK, she had to phone the court to postpone her appearance, in which she was expected to give evidence in front of the 2 men. In court, Follow Up K reported to the reporter, "You know what this is, we had a bad day," he told the court, sympathizing with victims of the actual attack. Judge responded serenely, It was not only a bad day for you." Basically, this is sick. They deserve to be put in prison. And I have an article about that here too, so here it is.
And now Turkey has been hit once again, so we'll continue to cover that at Infowars.com. More cultural enrichment news out of the Daily Wire. Muslim asylum seekers in Germany having a bad day, so they rape a woman. Again, that's how they justified this act. This woman was raped in a park. They justified the act in front of the judge by saying, well, we were having a bad day, so we just went ahead and did that. It's perfectly normal.
Alright, thank you. Another article, a video. Basically, what happened to this woman is shameful and crazy, and this is actually going to go into the next article I am going to be covering very shortly. Okay, so here we are. The last article here, and as I said before, this is segueing into this article here. Idaho sex assault. Child victim tapped as refugee assailant still lives next door. Underneath that, the 7-year-old attacker continues to play outside with children in the neighborhood while his victim is confined to her home. I mean, that's just crazy. The 5-year-old little girl victimized in a sex attack by Sudanese and Iraqi refugee boys in Twin Falls, Idaho, is too terrified to leave her home, partly because one of her attackers still lives next door, according to a civic volunteer who is working with the victim's family. On June the 2nd, a 14-year-old Sudanese refugee in Idaho cornered a 10-year-old Sudanese, cornered a 10-year-old Sudanese and 11-year-old Iraqi boy as they cornered the child in the laundry room of Fairbanks Apartments, stripping her naked, touching her, and urinating in her mouth and on her clothes. The 14-year-old filmed the vicious attack until the elderly woman intervened. Those sick bastards! That's it! They deserve to die! They deserve to die! I'm telling you! Twin Falls resident Jafar Rifo testified before the city council Monday, revealing that the 10-year-old attacker continues to play outside with other childs in the neighborhood while his victim is confined in her home. And here's the transcript here. Obama justice official has twice threatened outrageous Americans discussing the crime and Obama's secrecy, the Third World Refugees Resettlement Program that excluded all input from communication targeted for enrichment. However, the arrival of immigrants is strongly backed by local merchants and real estate owners and is also employed such as the Chipotle Yogurt Factory, which has hired many immigrant workers in place of local Americans. And basically, I don't believe that. Those boys deserve to be in jail. And yet one of them still living there? Near this girl? No. That's it. That little boy deserves, well, pretty much, like I said, he deserves to die. I'm sorry if I had to say that. You know what? Just try to forgive me, folks. About that part right there. Trust me, it just gets me furious just to see something like this happen. And the kid's still outside playing with other kids. Little twerp deserves a spanking. He deserves a punishment worse than death. And we're all being told to sit down and shut up. I'm like, the kid just peed all over a girl. Nasty little thing. You deserve, no, I think basically he deserves to be put somewhere in a zoo somewhere, and practically then throw peanuts at him all day long. That's the only thing I can say on this subject. It's just infuriating just to see this. Because basically, if something like that happened to one of my cousins, I would pretty much go crazy and just find a way to get up there and pretty much put my foot up this kid's butt so far up, I don't care if it's a 7-year-old or a 30-year-old, and break his face. Just break his face and just leave it and let God just sort it all out. Because technically speaking, it's just horrendous. And the girl can't even linger, which makes it even worse. So, basically, this is all the article I have for you today. If you'd like to read more about these articles, please go to links below or go to Infowars.com or PrinceBet.com. You can find hundreds of articles just like those I read for you today. This is the Infowars News. I'm Infowars. Life of Team Mission Number 3. Like, subscribe, and donate, and happy 4th of July, people. Be safe.